What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Trail Talk. Today we're covering how to trailer your vehicle. Let's go. We're out front of where we normally film shop talks. Today we're going to be covering, Eric,
yes.
Check out this setup, by the way.
I love trailering.
We actually have Eric's vehicle here. We have his awesome truck, my 4Runner, not in use today. We have a trailer, we have a vehicle. So we are gonna walk through it all today. I have a warning though, first off. Trailering, it's an easy thing to do when you know what you're doing, but you need to know what you're doing. So, a warning, come on over here. The first part of it, please make sure that your straps and your trailer are rated for the weight of the vehicle. And equally, the vehicle you are towing with is rated for all of that stuff, okay?
Yes.
Next up, follow all of the warnings and precautions of the trailer manufacturer, the Polaris manufacturer, the truck manufacturer, the straps, right? Call the strap company. Basically, make sure you're using all of these products and things exactly as they're intended to, okay? And then also, make sure you check with your own DOT, it's the Department of Transportation, Eric, about how their regulations apply to trailering. Some of them are different. Some say, hey, one strap per corner. We're gonna get into that, but make sure you're checking on all those things yourself. If you don't, Eric, bad things could happen.
That's no good.
And we don't want bad things to happen, so it's honestly not that complicated. Okay, next up, we have 8 steps.
8?
We couldn't make it cool. There's not 5, there's not 3, there's not 10. We just simply have 8 steps, Eric. Are you ready to get into it?
Yes.
To move that sucker around, we're going to need some things. You might have these already. You're gonna need a towing vehicle, and you're also going to need a trailer to tow on. Are you keeping up?
Yes.
This is very simple
We're
so
with
far.
you. Yeah.
Like I said, make sure that this vehicle is rated to actually pull the weight of the trailer combined with the weight of the side-by-side or the whatever. And if you were to carry other things on the trailer, right? Make sure that the ratings for all of that stuff, that it's good to go. If you have a truck, you're in the right ballpark. If you have an SUV, also great. There's tons of good vehicles you can use. Okay, look at my foot awareness as I step over.
I see that dance move. Yeah, that's good.
Next thing, the actual trailer itself. So there's a ton of different types of trailers here on this earth, of course. For this type of vehicle, there are primarily 2 different trailer types that you want to focus on. This trailer is an open trailer. Why do I say that? Because check out the floor plan, Eric.
Wide open.
Wide open, right? There is also enclosed trailers. So it basically, I'm sure you've seen them, they look like a massive box, right?
Yep.
They have a door sometimes or a huge ramp that comes down. Eric is a big fan of enclosed trailers.
Yes.
I am a big fan, so it's a little complicated today. We have Eric's vehicle, but we have like kind of my trailer, right?
Yes.
I'm a big fan of open trailers. So there's pros and cons both ways. There's no right answer. Enclosed trailers are awesome because they are closed off from weather, thieves, right?
Yeah.
They keep everything safe inside. They are usually heavier though, which because of that, they actually usually have their own braking system, whereas this trailer does not have a braking system. The vehicle does all of the braking. It really comes down to what you want to use. Open trailers are certainly lighter, so if you possibly have an SUV and you need to swing the weight, you may need to go with an open trailer, something super light. They also are very simple, so there's not a lot of things to take care of. They sometimes can be easier to store. Those are kind of the biggest differences. Things you want to make sure of though when you have a trailer, which like I said, you have to have a trailer, so you're going to have to check for these things. You need to make sure, as I open Eric's truck, always a dangerous task, opening another man's truck. you need to have a spare for the trailer, right? So again, flat tires can happen here on this earth. Make sure you have a spare. You really don't want to get in a situation where you blow a tire and you don't have an extra spare. He has also got his tire wrench here, the lug nut wrench, very handy. Have a spare tire. You are also going to need on this trailer, because we're going to use straps, you're also going to need tie down points. These are, you know, integral somewhat to this trailer. They're on the actual decking. If you look right here, there is an entire rail system where you can drop pins in and bolt stuff anywhere. You could put tie downs all over this thing if you want. We currently have 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, and 2 in the rear. I highly recommend you have at least four tie downs, 1 in each corner, because you're going to want to end up attaching straps. Again, check your DOT regulations, but by and large, 1 in each corner, so recommend 4. However, it is nice to have these extra ones if you were to strap your spare in the middle. If you had tracks, right? We're gonna do track videos in the future, Eric. They're gonna be sick in the snow. If you had to strap anything else down gear-wise, you definitely, you know, you're gonna wanna have other tie downs.
You can never have enough tie down points.
That is a true statement.
Yeah.
I stand by you with that one.
All right.
Okay, step number 1, or tip number 1, make sure you have a vehicle, a trailer, and the accoutrements. Tip number 2 is preparing to haul, okay? So, first thing, on the vehicle that you're going to be hooking the trailer up to, make sure it's in park. Okay, on the trailer, you're gonna wanna do this as ideally as possible on a flat surface, okay? You want the trailer and the vehicle and the side-by-side flat on the ground, right?
Yes.
You then want the trailer to be as level as possible. So let me come on down here. Hopefully it looks level.
It'll work.
You want it as level as possible. When we put it on the hitch, it is gonna raise it just a smidge. On my 4Runner, it actually does raise a little bit above level. You can fix that by getting a larger drop on the hitch. Make sure that the hitch is low enough, within reason, right? A couple inches. You don't need to literally level the trailer with a level, but you want the trailer to be level. So, make sure that's good. And then back over here, you're always gonna wanna double check this before you trailer, but what do? The old tire kick, right? He's making sure it's not rolling into his car. I am too. You do the tire kick, you make sure the tires are inflated, not flat. If they've been sitting for a while, they might need some air. Check the spare tire also, so you don't put on a little floppy spare tire. Step, are we on 4?
3?
We're on, no, we just, oh wait, okay, step number 3.
Do it this way, remember.
We need less steps in all of these videos. Also, I put this in the worst position.
We just keep stepping over
This is where I want to stand. I don't know why I did that. Number 3, we're hooking up the vehicle. What happens when you call customer service? What do they always ask you, Eric?
Is the VCR hooked up?
Is the VCR hooked up? Is it plugged in? Is your computer, is the blender plugged in, right? Is it plugged in? Is it hooked up? That is the biggest thing you obviously are gonna wanna do for a trailer, for when you're trailering. So, the first thing we're gonna do here, the trailer is ready to go, right? It's on level ground. We're going to most likely have a ball and receiver setup for most people. There are some things called couplers, or if you use a coupling system. If you are using that, you likely already know all of this, because it is for insane off-roading and many other things, or much heavier duty things.
Also, the ball, they come in different sizes.
Yes, so this is a 2-inch ball. This is also a 2-inch hitch. Make sure that the ball size fits the trailer.
Yes.
So everything here is telling you 2-inch ball.
It's rusty as heck. But
even though it's rusty, right? Here we go.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And 2-inch ball receiver on the tongue of the trailer. Love those pro tips. Those were not even scripted, everyone. That just happened right now. Okay, so how we hook this thing up. So on a lot of trailers, you're going to have this extra third wheel up front. So this is an aluminum trailer, so I could actually like just
Super light.
pick it up basically. There are trailers that are not that light, like enclosed trailers a lot of the time. So then you do need this guy right here. So lift it up. It is on. Before I lift the wheel up, I'm going to lock the hitch on with the latching mechanism. This little guy here helps you release that. You are now going to release, it's all very simple, right? It's just latches. The wheel, because you don't want that down while you're going. So now we're hooked up, but we need to put in the push pin connector, the chains, and then we need to lock it all in. And Eric actually has some good pro tips here. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna hook the chains up. These go to the chain stays on your car or truck, probably not a car. You want to crisscross these because at one point Eric even told me he actually had a hitch fail or a ball fail, and the trailer literally disconnected, and the only thing that saved it is because these chains were actually connected to the vehicle and because they were crisscrossed.
Yes.
Make 100% sure that these are attached for the safety of yourself and others. Next thing here. I'm now,
Yeah, take a seat.
this is odd, but we're working with it. Next thing is the push pin connector. This means that you have all of the brakes and the lights on your vehicle cascade to the trailer itself. So the brakes will go, the turn signals, all that good stuff. There's only one way it can go in because it is, it's not a symmetrical plug. It's kind of keyed, and usually it takes a little wiggle, Eric.
It does.
Just a little wiggle. Okay, that's good to go. Eric's pro tip, which I love, because the last step here is we're going to lock this latch onto the trailer, right? We're gonna prevent this from unhitching.
Yes.
Is to run, see how this is kind of,
You don't want that snake.
it's a little loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
We're gonna run this through here. So this is now retained, right? But still has plenty of room. One more Eric pro tip. This dude trailers everything. More than you could imagine. He's pulling his dirt bike all over the place. You want to make sure that this trailer is actually like latched on full blown. So, you know, assume deadlift position, right? Assume lifting position. Right, good to go. Here's another way you could do it.
Yep.
Right?
Yes. All good.
It is connected. It is locked. Eric,
We're set.
we're ready for the ramp. Tip number 4, Eric, we're at the ramp on this trailer. If it's an enclosed trailer, it might have a door and then another ramp. It might have a big ramp that flips down. On some trailers, there could be 2 narrower ramps. Sometimes there are walls on the trailer. Sometimes they're slid in like these brackets under the trailer. There's a lot of different ways that it happens. But there will generally be a ramp, and we need to release that now. So I always stand behind the ramp with kind of just my shoulder. Look, it's not gonna fall, but just in case. These pins here, if you wanna come around this side.
Sure.
So we have a cotter pin and then a main pin holding it through this upright. So let me come back over here. I stand behind it. I release that. I release this. So no one trips on this or you don't drive over it. I'm gonna put this down, but before that, I reattach this here so I don't lose this. This is not really like a place where you lose things, but if you're in a trailhead with puddles and whatever, a little pin could be easy to lose. If you're on sand, also could be easy to lose. So, boom, that's out of the way. Same thing over here. This is where I really want to stand behind the ramp so it doesn't smash. These aren't heavy, but you don't want to, you know, run into any problems. So I go here. I'm still standing behind the ramp. I put this out of the way. I'm holding on to the ramp, Eric.
Yes.
Also, look at how, like, this isn't heavy, right?
Right.
Lower this, and now the ramp goes down. Pro tip on lowering a ramp. If I were to do this, Eric, my fingers will likely hit. I can, however, grab above, so I can easily set it down just like so.
Nice.
Good?
Yes.
If I had 2 ramps here, I would want to make sure that the width of the vehicle or the ATV or the whatever is perfectly set up for the ramp distances. And if your vehicle, or sorry, if your trailer, if the ramp is not attached to the trailer, you're going to need to use a ratchet strap to attach it to the trailer.
Yes.
Or basically, so normally if the ramp isn't, there'd be a lip here, and you would basically pull the ratchet strap into the trailer so it cannot move. Very simple. Ramps are set up. I think it's time to load. Okay, so the next step, we're going to pull this vehicle onto the trailer, but there's a few things we need to do and keep in mind. First thing is I'm actually going to remove my backpack while it's down here, so you have less things to do up on top of the trailer. Watch Eric's footwork right now, stellar. The next thing is we are operating the vehicle, so we do need to wear the right safety equipment. Not only that, we are, climbing up something. Don't just do this without a helmet on. So, and all of it. So I have, right, all the things, and then the seatbelt, of course. So, basically what we're gonna do here is pull onto the trailer. We're gonna use all-wheel drive because we want all of the wheels pulling. We're gonna use low gear to give us the best throttle modulation, and that is a key piece of this. Use very controlled throttle modulation. So do not use jumpy throttle. Do not send it onto the trailer. We're slowly climbing up onto the trailer, and then basically what I'm gonna be tracking to from my vision here is I wanna pull, it's a little easier with this trailer because this vehicle is longer, and so we have to pull pretty far forward, but you want the weight of the vehicle centered over the axle, and honestly even a little before that. So as far onto the trailer as you can get is usually a good guidepost. But again, check all the owner's manuals. And just engage all-wheel drive. I am making sure as I drive up here. Okay, looks like I have myself centered on the trailer. Eric is also kind of a spotter almost for me right now. I can say, hey Eric, am I centered? Does it look good?
Yep.
I've got a thumbs up. And so I'm now going to ease the throttle and pull my way up. Nice and easy. All the way up. And right in there. Put the vehicle in park and turn it on. Okay. Next up here, we are going to attach the entire vehicle to the trailer.
This is my favorite part.
This is Eric's favorite part. We're going to show you some cool stuff. Okay, step number 6.
The pile of straps.
We got a pile of straps. The first thing you're going to want to, we've already done this today, but inspect all of your straps. It's not like we're doing like scientific testing, by the way. It's just literally like, is there gashes, or do they look very dirty or worn or thin? All these straps are in very good condition. We checked them all. The straps that we're using today are called shock straps. See this extra little?
Yes.
There's no way. It's too strong for me. This is it has some elasticity to it. It is kind of a shock, if you will. You can even see a picture of a shock on it. These are awesome for basically with a vehicle that has suspension, right? There's some compression going on. These are awesome for mitigating that. Speed straps are another very popular strap that people love to use. Find a good pair of straps. Listen, ratchet straps also totally work. Ratchet straps are awesome. Again, make sure they're weight rated for the vehicle, okay? And that is 4 straps holding 1 vehicle, so make sure you do the math properly. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is attach all of these straps. We're gonna start at the front, and there is basically, for these, and usually most straps, 2 pieces per strap. We have our tie down point, of course, here, and we have the tie down over there. A big thing that you want to pay attention to, I'm going to sit in the weirdest possible way. Do not attach straps to control arms, control arm socket or pockets, axles, all the way in the back here, you see?
Yes.
The silver, tie rod, sway bar drop link.
Not good.
All of this is off limits. You want to you want to tie down off of the frame. So there's some different hooked areas underneath, depending on the size of the hooks you're using. There are areas all under here. A lot of times you can buy actually a little ring tie down for these 2 bolts. That makes it super easy. You can go off the bumper for tying down, but do not exceed the load rating for weight on the bumper. Making sense?
Yes.
Also, you want to make sure, sometimes there's just pieces, edges that are a little sharper. You don't want to have a strap running tight over a sharp edge. You want these things smooth and connected and just holding weight down. Tracking?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what we need to do. Number 1, we're going to prepare these by hooking these in. So I always hook those in first. Let me grab one more set here. I need a red piece and the black piece. I'm very anal with my straps and I have to have them all face the same way. So now we have this piece. So on the front, it all varies by trailer, so make sure you're doing your straps the right way. On the front, we have a very short strapped section, if that makes sense. It's a little bit different than the rear. There's also different attachment points. So these actually will both, due to the length, end up hooking into this tie down, right? And then I'm running this longer strap up and over. I always make sure I'm keeping everything not twisted as we go over certain areas. Ratchet strap, there's normally in this configuration, this little piece right here releases the mechanism. So you just flip it open. This guy goes through this little slot.
And then where does it go?
Then you hold on to it. I usually just hold it up against this spot right here. So it's, some tension. Then you hit that little mechanism again, flip the strap down, and you start cranking. And then you can let go. The one thing that I also do is I make sure that how this opens, I open it to the air side versus into the other strap, right?
Yes.
Because I want to have room to do that. I don't want to tighten this side too much yet though, because I want it equally tensioned here. So this is just the initial tightening, pretty even. These are still not final tightened. We're going to the rear first, or the rear next. So here it's a little bit easier. We have all of the straps relatively equally tightened. We're tracking, Eric?
Yes.
We're gonna go back to the front and we are going to crank down on these a bit more. These straps right here, come on in for a close-up, have this red shock, remember?
Yeah.
This extra material here, we want tight enough that your hand can just barely get some fingers in. That's how shock straps designates proper tightness.
Okay.
If you don't have shock straps, you want to see the suspension start to compress. So the vehicle should have its suspension compressed a medium amount for when it bumps and jostles on the road. Okay? So I'm going to pretty evenly, 5, I count in my head is a great way. 5, we're getting close. So that was a hard one. Did you see the vehicle lower there too?
Yeah.
This is now quite tight. I'm gonna do one more, like half. So that was 3.5. This is perfect. And the vehicle is lower currently on this side. So now 3.5. We're getting close. And I can see the vehicle moving down. These are very tight now. Rear of the vehicle. I'm over here.
I'm coming.
Okay. So these are still loose, right?
Sure.
All of these straps are now fully tightened. Okay, last thing you want to do, we're not going to show you this on every strap because this would be so boring to watch me do this, But all of this material, we are now going to take and we're gonna tie it off. And then I usually tie it off again. The very last step, final inspections. So, you did not get to watch me laboriously tie all of the loose straps down, but they are all tied. The straps are secure. This vehicle is not going anywhere. It's shaking the whole trailer when I do that. We're now going to check for all of the final inspections. So we're going to re-inspect all the straps. Good, good. I can see that's all good. We're gonna come back to this mess of stuff. Good, good. I can see all of the straps are tied down. We're now going to raise the ramp. We're gonna bring this back. Once again, my body is just holding it.
And you didn't lose your pins.
I didn't lose my pins. Now that that's secure, I know that the ramp is good to go. On that side, we secure this pin. Find the hole. Okay, the ramp is now secure. I need to make sure though that the vehicle is secure. Before I do that, I can see there's stuff all around the vehicle. So my backpack, my safety gear, right? All this stuff, and I'm gonna put it right here as a reminder to myself. All of this needs to go in the vehicle. You don't want loose things in the side-by-side. If it is a accessory that's bolted on, good to go, right? If it is a locked component, that's good to go. Nothing can be loose in here. What you do need to check is other loose components. What could those be? Seat belts, Eric.
Yes.
This is a floppy jalopy loose component. So I click that seat belt, I have to get that one. The rear two are clicked. You might be in the parking lot, you might look like a kind of a monkey climbing around, but it's the safety thing that you need to do. Okay, seat belts are good to go. Then you need to remove the key, Eric. I'm also double checking that this is in park. So I hit it forward, I know the vehicle's in park. I take the key out, it cannot turn back on. I watch my step, and I then close all the doors. Closed, the rear door is closed, and the other doors are closed. This vehicle, Eric, is secured to the trailer.
Yes.
This trailer, Eric, is secured to this vehicle. We're ready to ride.
We are.
Tune in to the next episode for riding footage. You've waited so patiently. We wrote at the beginning, but we are gonna get this sucker back out on the trails. I'm so excited. We're not literally going right now. Eric and I are gonna do some other stuff, and then like in a couple days we're gonna go film. But the vehicle is ready and trailered. It's good to go. You have now learned how to trailer your vehicle. Maybe if you already knew, hopefully you learned like one extra thing to check for when you're actually in the midst of trailering. Because I'm sure we've all had a moment where we're on the trail or we have a flat tire or whatever, and you realize you're not prepared. Make sure you're prepared. Lastly, these things are so cool, and we're gonna have some fun on the trails next, but they are not cool if you don't ride. We have to ride, Eric.
We gotta ride.
We have to ride.
Yes.
So please go ride, and of course, join us for the next episode of Trail Talk. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.